Let's make this happen. Honestly, Soleil, I'm going to say this one more time. Let's make this happen, because if what I saw yesterday during the All-Star break or the All-Star game, if that were to happen, I would be amazed. I think all of Atlanta would definitely be more than excited, more than happy, and would be willing to forget about Trae Young playing with the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, I want to tell you right now, the memory and there's just a memory span of most fans are just like that. Especially if you are doing right as a general manager. I'm speaking to you, Ansi Soleil. Bring Ant-Man home. I'm writing it down. I'm putting it out there. Bring Ant-Man home. Anthony Edwards was found talking to Jalen Johnson, who is, of course, the star in waiting, or not even in waiting. The new star stepped up after the Atlanta Hawks traded off Trae Young to the Washington Wizards. They sent him away, and now this is Jalen Johnson's team. Now this is Jalen Johnson's turn. Now this is time for Jalen Johnson and the Atlanta Hawks to ascend, if you will. They have definitely been in a different situation right now. And just being completely honest, I think if Trae Young were still with the Atlanta Hawks, things would have been the exact same. I don't think that they would have moved out of the number 10 or 11 position or whatnot, because right now the Atlanta Hawks are currently in the 10th seed of the Eastern Conference. If the season were to end today, of course, they will be into the play-in tournament, or as others would like to call it, the Atlanta Hawks Invitational. So we already know what the Hawks are dealing with. But man, oh man, if Anthony Edwards were to decide to come to Atlanta, if Ansi Soleil were to decide to bring Anthony Edwards to Atlanta, I mean, how would that look? We saw yesterday, we had a slight glimpse of what could happen, or what could be done between Jalen Johnson and Anthony Edwards. And I'm going to just take a quick minute, go through what Anthony Edwards does what his stats are, what his contract situation looks like, because again, this is definitely quite interesting. I am quite excited about what can happen here, man. This is definitely pretty dope. But let me go ahead and welcome everybody to Alpha Male Sports. I appreciate all of you for joining me today. Thank you all for listening to Alpha Male Sports. Thank you. Just thank you. Okay. I appreciate all of you guys. I definitely like that you guys are definitely still here, still viewing my content. Definitely want to make sure that I bring to you guys as much quality content as possible. Now, of course, over the weekend, we know that the NBA All-Star weekend went down. This was the NBA All-Star break. So most teams won't be playing up until Thursday. Actually, the start of the restart of the season, or the resuming of the season starts on this Thursday. Most teams are going to be playing on Thursday, so we can look forward to that. But for right now, teams are still on a rest break. Teams are on a chill period. So we know now that everybody is calm. But again, going into last night, well, really quickly over the weekend, let me just point this out really quickly before I go any further. In the dunk contest, they've done all of them. Just putting it completely honest, they've done all of them. I think the more and most embarrassing thing that happened this past weekend for any player was, of course, Jace Richardson, the son of Jason Richardson, who won the dunk contest back in 2001, or I think it was 2001 or 2000. I want to say it was right at the turn of the century. And Jason Richardson had done, he really closed it out, did an awesome job. At the time he was playing for the Golden State Warriors. And he showed out, but his son was embarrassing, going up for a dunk, falling flat on his back. It was just ridiculous. And then who was that? Most of the guys that were in the dunk contest were either rookies or within their first or second year. No name people. At least with Mac McClung, who was a G League player, we knew who he was. We knew who the guy was. We knew what he was able to do. He was a dunker. That's what he did. I just feel as though the dunk contest needs to be either changed, reformed, or just completely ended altogether. Other than that, the whole weekend was dope. 3-point contest, really good. Shouts out to Damian Lillard. Booker, he was this close. I mean, and just completely duffed it on the last rack. Could have won it, could have ended it. But right out the gate, Con Knipple, rookie with the Charlotte Hornets, did an awesome job. You know what I mean? Just setting the tone for the three-point competition. That was dope. And then transitioning into the All-Star game, which was last night, Victor Wembanyama setting the tone. Anthony Edwards said it. Anthony Edwards set the tone. Let me go there. Let me start over. Anthony Edwards said it. Victor Wembanyama set the tone for the weekend. He said he was going to bring back competition in the All-Star game, and that is what he did. These teams were definitely going back and forth. Ended out with a game versus, USA Stripes and USA Stars. And definitely the Stars got the win. They were able to beat the Stripes, I think 40-something to 23 or 47 to 23. So it was a big win. It was a very decisive win, if you will. But I think the first three games, or the first three quarters, if you will, were very close. I mean, came down to the wire. You had, what's the guy plays for San Antonio. It skips me, but he hit a game winner. Anthony Edwards hit a game winner to beat Team World. I think Team World didn't win any. They just got beat completely. But this was a really good game. The All-Star format, I think they should stick with that. That was pretty good. But I want to get into this recent news that we got with Anthony Edwards talking to Jalen Johnson. And this was at the end of the game. This is when Anthony Edwards was going to get his MVP, All-Star MVP trophy. This was, I think, right before it. Things were just kind of in a ruffle. But you see Anthony Edwards talking to Jalen Johnson. Y'all take a listen and tell me what you think.
My brother. It's my old time, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, look, you got so many wings. Kaminga, you gonna like that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, again, here we go. This is definitely some... I'm at a loss for words, because now you see it and you hear it that he wants to come to Atlanta. Anthony Edwards wants to come to Atlanta. He wants to be here in the Atlanta area. Now, how soon that will happen, I'm not necessarily sure, but you can see right there, he turned over to Jalen Johnson, and he said, "I can't wait to come home too." All right. Now, you can take with it as you want. He could even be saying that in the sense of, the game was yesterday. He was probably going to come home today. He could possibly be in the Atlanta area right now, and that was what he was talking about. But it wasn't just that. It wasn't just him saying he was ready to come home, but more so he was talking about the rest of the team that the Atlanta Hawks have. Okay, Jalen Johnson is paired up with Jonathan Kuminga now. You got Buddy Hield as well. And you can hear Anthony Edwards giving props to the Atlanta basketball team just in regards to who they have on the team. You got Onyeka Okongwu, you got Mo Gay. He was just talking about the bigs that the Atlanta Hawks has. And if you look at the Atlanta Hawks, they do have a pretty sizable team, mainly because of all of the different forwards that are on the team, the power forwards that are on the team. Anthony Edwards is not a power forward. He's more of a shooting guard. He could potentially play the small forward role if put into that position, but that's not what you're looking for. We already have certain guards or guys that can play the guard. So, again, this is a very big deal. Anthony Edwards speaking truthfully and saying this is what he wants to do. He wants to come back home to Atlanta. Again, you guys in the comments, let me know how you guys feel about that aspect, because, again, if Anthony Edwards comes to Atlanta, I mean, just putting it completely honest, him being paired with Jalen Johnson would be amazing. Having these two guys on the court, two playmakers, would be awesome. Again, Anthony Edwards is a 29 points per game. He averages 29 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game. He's only 24 years old. He turns 25 later on this year in August. He's only been in the league for about 5 years. So again, this will be great. He's still young. He's still in his prime. He just won the MVP of the Allstar game. I can see him down the road potentially bringing a team a championship. Do I believe it is Minnesota? Not necessarily. I don't think it could be Minnesota. I think he's going to possibly try to find his way outside of Minnesota at some point in time. So then that begs the question, when can this possibly happen? When will Anthony Edwards be available for the Atlanta Hawks? Okay, let's go down this rabbit hole really quickly. So Anthony Davis signed a 5-year, $244.6 million extension to his rookie deal that would extend it all the way through 2029. So for another 3 years, Anthony Edwards is in Minnesota. Now, there could be a trade. There could potentially be a trade, but then the question begs, what would the Atlanta Hawks be willing to give up? What would be the cost for Atlanta to get Anthony Edwards here? Because he doesn't come cheap. He's not a throwaway player. He's not anyone that, Minnesota wouldn't want. As a matter of fact, Minnesota's doing quite well this season. So Minnesota might want to hold on to Anthony Edwards, and they might even be saying, you know what, now that he said that he's expressed interest in the Atlanta area, they've heard it, they see it. Let's not be dumb to the fact that they see what just happened over this past weekend. So if he were to, if I were Minnesota, I'd be trying to hold on to him as closely as possible. But these two guys together would be amazing. Okay, I think I have something else here really quickly. Yeah, this whole weekend, Anthony Edwards has been repping Atlanta through and through. He hasn't said anything about Minnesota. You hadn't seen him point to a Timberwolf on his chest. You hadn't say go. You didn't hear him say go Minnesota or whatnot. No, he has been repping Atlanta. Down to how he was wearing his uniform. If you're, paying that close attention, Anthony Edwards is who he is, and I think he would be the most comfortable if he were here in an Atlanta Hawks uniform. Tell me what you guys think about, was this tampering? Jalen Johnson didn't even approach him on that, on some come home type stuff. This is all Anthony Edwards doing. So again, what can we see in the future? How do we see this happening going down in the future? I'm excited to see what could possibly come of this. Again, Ansi Soleil, you guys are on the clock. The Hawks, you guys are on the clock. Again, Anthony Edwards does have a contract that extends him through 2029 in Minnesota. So right now he's still there. No contracts have been said. He hasn't talked to anybody. So for right now, this is not a thing. But just going off of what we just saw this past weekend, I would be excited to see what could potentially happen, okay? My name is Walter Pollard, and I'm super excited, bro. This is Alpha Male Sports. Yes, this is Alpha Male Sports. Now, if you guys want to hear me dive deeper into the situation, you guys want to hear me talk more about this potential situation, come and check me out on Atlanta Hawks Digest on YouTube. But either way, this is Alpha Male Sports. My name is Walter Pollard. I'm signing out, y'all. Peace.